What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a startup to a FIFA 22 career mode. Now, we're going to do a manager career mode here, and I'm going to put it up on the channel for fun. I may shift this over to a stream style format if you guys have any interest in that, but I know that this is a little bit of an oddball for my channel, but it's something that I have interest in. I always love playing FIFA. Now, this year's game, I've gotten into it a little bit, played some pro clubs a little bit. Don't know if I totally love this year's game, but I do feel like we can have a pretty interesting format to what we can do here with a manager career within this game. I do feel like the career mode within FIFA is actually one of the better career modes out there in terms of what you can do with managing your team and the depth of it and everything like that. And I always enjoy having a bit of fun here on FIFA. So we're going to try to make this a little bit of a series here on the channel, but obviously not going full FIFA content or anything like that, just trying to switch it up and have a little bit of fun. So hopefully you guys will join me along the ride here, and as we get into this video, I'll explain a little bit more about what I'm intending to do here. So I went ahead and created my manager here. We're going to be obviously Jacob Reid from the United States, and that is part of what I like to do whenever I play career mode here on FIFA 22 or FIFA in general, is I like to make a manager that's from the United States, has a United States backstory. And what I plan to do usually is I like to go out for a lesser known team, or not a lesser known team, I should say, because they're all well-known teams, especially in this version of football. This is one of the most played games across the world, so forgive me if I call it soccer from time to time. I'm obviously from the United States. Forgive me if I don't get some of the facts correct and some of the details correct, especially surrounding certain teams and certain aspects of the game. I'm obviously kind of a noob when it comes to soccer/football. But that's not to say that I don't enjoy playing this game, and I've played this game for a while. So what I try to do, like I was saying, to get back on track, is I like to create a United States manager. I like to go out for a team that is on the lower end in terms of overall and maybe prestige for one of the top divisions within soccer around the world, whether that be the Premier League or Serie A from Italy, or maybe the German league or something like that. I try to get one of the teams that are lower end in those divisions, and I try to work up their prestige and take them to the top. But in doing so, because I have the United States background, I like to bring in United States prospects, players that I can build up to become great players for our team. They can also then become great players for the United States national team. Now, I don't know, I'll have to do a little bit of research if they even have any of that national team stuff here in FIFA 22, but regardless, that's kind of the way that I like to approach it, just to have that fun aspect to it, especially as a United States native, somebody that is not as familiar with the game as other people around the world and other big YouTubers that play this game. So that's the approach that we're going to take. Let's go ahead and continue to dive into this. So the team that we're actually going to utilize here today in this series that we're going to start off with is the Wolverhampton Wanderers. As you see on the left there, they're just titled Wolves at the top. Some of the stipulations that I have for taking on a team, obviously they have to be one of the lower rated teams in one of those top divisions. The Wolves are a pretty solid rated team. They actually have a really solid midfield. I think it was like an 83 grade in comparison to a lot of the other top tier teams in this division. And the other thing to discuss here is the transfer budget and like club worth and the actual prestige of the team, which is gauged in stars over there, as you guys can see. Those things are important to talk about. Now, the Wolves have a little bit higher prestige than a team that I might normally take on, but the other stipulation that I have to have is we have to have uniforms that are bearable, and I actually enjoy their uniforms quite a bit. Some of the other teams that I considered taking on don't really have great uniforms. Like Brentford would be a really interesting team to take on. They'd be a big challenge. I like their logo. I actually like that B. It's actually pretty cool, but their uniforms are not good at all. I don't think I could could stand playing a whole series with those uniforms. So we're going to go with the Wolves, but as you guys can see, our 54 million transfer budget pales in comparison to the major teams within the Premier League. You're talking about 90 million for the Spurs, and then you're talking about for the major teams 224 million, 253 million, 158 million. So we're significantly lower than the major teams within this league, Chelsea, for example. So, we are, in that middle pack, lower pack of this division. There's obviously teams that are in the 20s, as you saw. So we're not taking the biggest challenge, but I'm also not fantastic at FIFA 22. I haven't really played this game all that much. So, and we're also going to be challenging ourselves by bringing in United States prospects, which limits us quite a bit in terms of who we can actually bring in and what we can get done. It's not like I'm going to go out there for every single wonder kid in the entire world. So, that 54 million transfer budget might be enough to get us like, I don't know, one top tier, Pulisic or somebody like that. I don't even know what his transfer budget would be worth. I don't know what his transfer worth would be in the game now. He might be too high rated for that to even be enough for him. But let's go ahead. We'll dive into this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go and get this set up the way that we need to, and I'll join back with you in a moment. All right, so real quick, going through the settings here, we're going to be playing on pro difficulty. I'm probably going to adjust the half length depending on how things go. Obviously, you guys aren't going to get to see every single match at full length or anything like that, but we will adjust as we go through. A couple of the things that I do find to be important here, there are actual international job offers, so we'll try to work our way up to coaching the U.S. national team at some point. So that is at the very least in the game in some facet. And then we also have financial takeover disabled right here, which is at the beginning of a career in FIFA, you can always get a financial influx to help you build that team. We're not going to do that. We're going to start off with a bit of a challenge and try to take it from here. All right, so this is my first time actually seeing FIFA 22's career mode. I tried to make the character look somewhat like me. Obviously not perfect, but I got a somewhat resemblance of what I actually look like. And so at the beginning here, we get a choice of preseason tournament invite. We can compete in the Champions Trophy, the European Shield, or South American Continental Cup. Now, what I usually do is I participate in the one that has the combination of the highest prestige/difficulty and the highest money pool, but I also like to look at who is involved in these. So, we could be going up against like FC Barcelona, who's a top club in this one. We could be going up against Borussia Dortmund, who is a top German club over here, and we could be going up against what looks like maybe some of the top Italian clubs. We see Milan there, Napoli. I think that this third one looks like it's going to be the best for us. Obviously, there's still going to be solid competition there. There's some Brazilian squads, Italian squads, Mexican squad up there in the top right, Tigres. But I don't see any huge, what do I want to call it, juggernaut that's going to immediately knock us out of the tournament or something like that. So we'll go ahead and play the South American Continental Cup, accept that invite, and that should be a good way to get us started off here. Now, there's probably going to be quite a bit that I need to do to actually set this franchise up, maybe get a transfer list going, a short list, and things of that nature. So I'm going to take a few moments to dive into everything that I need to get done in order to set this up for an enjoyable experience for the viewer, and we'll go ahead and get into that. Now, make sure you guys, if you want to see more of this franchise or more of FIFA 22 or more of any other games, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below with what you guys want to see, all that great stuff. And as well, give me feedback on how the camera looks and everything like that. I did finally get a backlight, so that should help the lighting situation a little bit. You shouldn't see those giant shadows on my face like we had before, but I feel like I might be a little bit overlit right now. I might be too zoomed in. I don't really know. You guys let me know in the comment section what I could maybe adjust to make it look a little bit better if you feel a certain way about it, and we'll certainly try to do that. Now, one of the interesting things to look at here as I get into this team is actually, who's on the team and what does the team look like. So we do have a pretty solid looking team in terms of player overall in these different positions and whatnot. Now, I have not decided what formation I'm going to run. They have them preset to a 5-2-3 here, which is, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I don't think I'd be totally opposed to running a 5-2-3. It's a little bit defensive for my liking, but we do have a pretty solid squad. I might be able to eliminate one of these defenders or something like that. We might have a lot of defensemen on the team, and that might be why we run it this way. But we have a really nice triangle here in the middle between Moutinho, Neves, and Jimenez. Now, I may be pronouncing all of those improperly, so certainly bear with me on that, and if you do know anything about them, let me know. But we also have some players down here in reserve, and I guess I could probably shift my screen over. There we go. I got my screen shifted over, so we can now see everybody that we have down here in reserve as well. We do have a couple of other 78s over here down in the bottom reserve pool. I'm gonna have to take a look at all of these players' ages and things of that nature to decide who I'm gonna keep. I obviously, as with every single game that I try to play, try to take over a team and turn that team into a much younger team. So that's not to say that I'm going to get rid of any of these players. If you know anything about this team and you support any of these players, certainly let me know, and let me know if you want to keep them around or anything like that. Or if you know anything about this team and know any moves that they should make, let me know that down in the comment section as well. But just a quick look at the team right there before I really dive into too much of this, and we'll start getting things moving here in a moment. All right, so following some moves to the team, and this team definitely still has some work to be done. We made a few transfers in order to bring in United States players, but we also have a couple of transfers currently in the works. We'll show you those in a moment, and a couple of transfers that we have to wait for players to go out before we can bring in enough money to get some top-tier players like Christian Pulisic, for example. So the current squad as it stands heading into our second cup match. I simulated the first cup match just to see what our team could do. They actually played pretty well. So as it stands, Cowell is a transfer that we brought in for very cheap, who is a United States player that has really high upside. Our front three, and we're going to run a 4-3-3 attacking right now, is going to look like this. This could change depending on if we find some other strikers or wingers that we want to bring into the team. Next up is the midfield set, which is going to be Reina, who is our cam, who is the top ranked United States player within the game in terms of his potential. We also brought in Adams, who is coming over, also a United States player, and Weston McKennie. So these are actually three of the highest tier prospects for the United States national team within the game anyway, in terms of their overall development and potential. These guys all have potential in the mid to high 80s, so we got a really nice triangle going there with them. We did keep around Neves. He is 24 years old. We might keep him around. I don't know. I'm seeing if I can't transfer him for a very hefty sum that I could then utilize to get in Christian Pulisic, and we could then play him up here at winger, which is what his position is listed at. Now, we've also been trying to work on seeing if we can bring in any defenders. Currently, the only United States defender that I brought in was DeAndre Yedlin. I like him quite a bit because of his pace. It's really nice to have him on the outside, despite his low rating. He is 27 years old, so not a whole lot of room for growth, but I don't necessarily believe that you need that much room for growth, or you need that much growth whenever you have that kind of place out there at left back or right back. And then our defense is looking pretty standard here with some of the veteran players that are sticking around on the team. There's really not a lot out there in terms of Team USA, defensively speaking. Now, I might go after some veteran players, but I don't know that I need to do that because that would just be kind of a lateral move for us. And then on the bench, we do have a good group of players going on right now, some players that are young with high potential. We brought in Musa here, who is also a United States player. I'm looking to probably switch up our formation a little bit as we move forward, and then this team has a whole bunch of developmental prospects down here that we can talk about. But what I do also want to talk about is I want to go over here to my transfers and talk about what we have going on potentially happening for the future of this team. So we are currently in contract negotiations with Zach Steffen, who is the top-ranked United States goalkeeper in terms of potential. He could be a very solid goalkeeper for us into the 80 overalls, which would be really good. I mean, the United States hasn't really filled that void since Tim Howard left, so I do like the idea of bringing him in and developing him into hopefully a top-tier goalkeeper. We did not move the goalkeeper that we have currently, but that would give us two very solid goalkeepers potentially around that 80 mark. We are also currently trying to bring in these center backs with high potential for the United States, but they're on loan, so we have to wait until their loan is up in order to acquire them, and that would be Chris Richards, who is currently at FC Bayern, and then also Cameron Carter-Vickers, who is at Tottenham. So I don't know what's exactly going to happen with them, if we'll ever have a chance to get them, but we might look elsewhere for the defense. Now, Christian Pulisic, the first time we went into negotiations for him, it said he was worth around 75 million, which we didn't have the money for. Second time we went into negotiations with him, he had said he was around 95 million, and that was after getting up to around $80 million in transfer budget to be able to acquire him. So we still have to make some movement happen before we have enough transfer budget to get him again, and I don't know if we go back in if it's going to say he's even more expensive still beyond that. Now, our one failed negotiation so far was for Timothy Weah. I might make another run at him, but for whatever reason, he rejected our wage offer. I thought it was substantial enough, but apparently not high enough for him. Maybe he's a higher overall than I thought, but nonetheless, we'll scout him, get his overall right, and hopefully get a contract offer in for him, because that would be a nice trio up there in front with Pulisic, Weah, and then the other young guy that I transferred for. And then we've also received offers. We've rejected the offer for Pedro Neto. It just simply, I don't think, was enough money for how young and high overall this player is. We did accept some offers for some other players to go out, but we were in negotiations to get Colin Dagba and like 60 or 70 million dollars in transfer budget in return for Neves, who we were talking about before, in order to send him to Paris Saint-Germain, but that kind of fell through because, again, the wage offer wasn't high enough for him. I probably made a mistake in terms of the wage for him, but I don't know what overall he truly is. I looked it up, and it said he was a substantially lower overall than what his wage demands are. So that's where we stand with the team. Let's go ahead and hop into a match in this club. I don't know what this team is looking like that we're going to be going up against, but could be nice to get into a match here and get something going with this team. Now, there should be a small amount of actual volume coming through here from the game. Let me go ahead real quick and adjust my camera, because I can see now that it's not in necessarily the best spot that it could be in. Let me go ahead and pause real quick, get the camera adjusted for you, and we'll get into this game. All right, so it's looking like top left-hand corner of the screen is going to be the right-hand corner of the screen is going to be best location for the camera with FIFA videos. So I will certainly be making a note of that to make sure that we don't mess those things up as we go. Now, like I said, I'm certainly not the best at FIFA. At least I haven't played it in a while, so we'll see. And the fact of the matter is, oh, I don't know why that's the cross option. We had the man open streaking over the middle. I haven't been very good at pro clubs this year, and they've certainly changed pro clubs a lot around since we were a Division I, Division II type of a club. It is really interesting to play this year, and I don't know if some of those issues that I'm experiencing are going to carry over or not. We'll certainly have to see. Ball skill wise, the ball skills are a lot tougher this year with these players. It really seems like players have a tough time handling the ball and turning on the ball. Even higher overall players, like you start off as an 80 overall in pro clubs, and I have a tough time of breaking on the ball and even just getting a half decent pass. So I don't know how exactly it's going to play out this year. Yeah, see, these through balls and these passes have been cleaner, and these are from lower overall players. So I don't know why exactly we get such different play from pro clubs this year, but that's been a significant issue that we've experienced so far, because that's mostly how we play FIFA right now, or usually play FIFA. I mean, I'm one of the few of my friends that actually come out and play FIFA on a regular basis. Yeah, come on, cut back. Why isn't it letting me cut back? I just flicked the stick inwards. That should let me cut back on the ball, but it made me try to do some type of a skill move there. All right, I'm liking what I see so far. I mean, I know we're only on pro, which is certainly probably not difficult at all in a lot of, usual FIFA players' minds, but defense playing well so far. I'm liking the way that our team is playing, and I'm sure that this team that I'm playing is not very good. So probably, honestly, a pretty good match to get things started off on today. There's a through ball. See, cut back, make that pass. There we go. Oh, my goodness. How do we hit that crossbar? That was actually a laser beam of a shot. We almost put that thing into the top corner. Oh, here we go. We're on the break. I don't know. That's got to be incorrect. Oh, how do we miss the shot? How do we miss that shot? That was DeAndre Yedlin? Why was DeAndre... Oh, wait, Roselle. That's just the back of our jerseys. Why was Yedlin as the left back so far upfield? I mean, I'm not going to complain. I like getting help from my backs, but I might need to do a little bit of custom tactics here because when we go facing better teams, I don't necessarily know, especially in an attacking formation like this, that I'm going to want... Come on, put that one in. What is my accuracy right now? Did he save that? Yeah, okay, he saved that. My accuracy clearly is off right now. Let's go ahead. We don't really have the height anywhere. Can I call for a player to come over here? No, I can't. We're just going to send this one in. Okay. I don't know what exactly was happening there. I guess I can switch off of the corner taker, which I didn't realize was a thing. All right, so we're getting close to the end of the first half here. Not really anything happening on the scoreboard. I'd say so far this game has been mostly in our favor possession-wise and everything like that. Ooh, that looked like a little bit of maybe lagging or something, and a nice shot. Oh, that's probably the best shot that we've seen so far this game outside of maybe that one that we had early on. All right, control the ball. I'm okay with that. And give it away. Come on. Oh, we stole that one. All right, come back to that. Pass it off. Nope. Okay, yeah, see, the ball control to me is going to take a little bit to get used to this year. All right, at the start of the second half, 45 minutes in now, we are still in a 0-0 matchup. I'm going to put us on attacking. Hopefully we'll get a little bit better positioning here out of the defense. And we're also going to put on overload ball side to try to see if we can't get a little bit more movement out of our CPU players. Obviously, I'm not the best at controlling this team right now, so I do think I could use a little bit more help from the teammates here, getting the ball moving upfield. We've had our opportunities, though. We just have not been able to put it into the net, and we absolutely need to be able to do that. I don't know. Ooh, nice ball over the top. Intercepted well. I don't know if that is like screen tearing for you guys or what's going on there, if there's a drop in frame rate. But on my screen, it looks like a couple times here the frame rates are definitely slowing down. There's a nice ball through the middle. Control it. Okay, I think we're only getting the control down really well here because of... Yep, there we go. I think they're going to call us offsides. No, they are going to give us the goal 1-0. That's going to be the new acquisition and the United States native Tyler Adams who comes in for the score. Nice positioning there by my teammates. I may need to play on a slightly higher difficulty because that was too easy to get in there and get past those defenders. Pro difficulty might be a little bit too easy, especially considering that that's like a 65 overall player that just dribbled right past the defenders. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to play some more games. This team that I could be playing could be absolute trash. So we really have to take that into account, I would say. But I will obviously continue to play matches for you guys and bring you into the key moments. Holy crap, that's a nice ball. What a beauty. We got our wing out there, dribbling past, make the cut back, find the man that's open, hit the shot. Come on. Oh, we can't put that one in. Another really good opportunity. This game going pretty much in our favor and the way that I would expect it to go against what I think is a lesser team. Pretty good performance so far for this team that we've put together. I'm really curious to see how these guys play against a really good team, though, if we get a good matchup later on into this tournament. I do really like some of these guys that I've put on this team now. Obviously, like I said, I haven't played FIFA in all that long, so you know, I'm not totally familiar with every top prospect right now, but I have done quite a bit of acquisition here in terms of players that are top tier players that I've found for the United States that I've done a little research on in the game. There's a couple of websites that can help you with that type of stuff, tell you their potentials and whatnot like that. But they're also players that in prior years have been top tier players for the United States. There are a couple of names that I was surprised not to see on the list of top talent for the United States. You know, some players that I think within the U.S. are regarded as potentially very, very good players, but you know, interesting to see how things have changed since I have last played this game. That's just a really bad pass. 70th minute now. I'm going to actually go ahead and set us back on balanced. Actually, I'm going to set us on defensive, not ultra defensive, but I do want to try to hold this lead. I think that we need to just possess the ball right now, maybe work up the field as cleanly and effectively as we can. That was a tough pass. Not where I meant to go with the ball. This game is getting close to the end, though. There's a good run up and over the side. Let's go with a cross. There's the cross, and we're not there for the header. We should be able to win that one, though. We do. Let's take the long shot. That's a laser beam. Let's go with the score. That's going to put us up 2-0. Who was that on the score? Was that another one of our acquisitions? Was that another one of our United States players? Who's it going to give it credit to here? I'm not totally familiar with every single player out there on the field and the way that they look. So was that... So that's actually Tyler Adams again, who gets his second score this game, and that was an absolute rocket from out there. Going against some of the better goalkeepers out there in the Premier League, that might not go in. We might have needed to put a little bit more power on that, but what a beautiful shot. More than likely going to send us off here with a 2-0 victory in our first played cup match. And I'm really liking, like I said, I'm really liking what I think this team can do. And maybe, honestly, if we win this cup match, if we continue to get a couple of transfers, we may not even need to sell our top-end player that we still have on the team in order to get back appropriate value for Pulisic. We might not need to go crazy with that. Looks like a pass offsides. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys at the end of this one because I find it very hard to believe that they could possibly come back from this. We'll have to play it safely, but regardless, I'll see you guys at the end of this or if there's another good goal. And as we finish this one out 2-0, we do actually get the win. However, I need to remember, and honestly, there's a lot of skills that I need to have come back to me as I play this game. I need to remember to sub players out because I actually forgot to sub anybody out, and we resulted in some pretty dead tired players there at the end of the game. Really nice job by this team to go out and get that W, though. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on all the moves with the team as we advance, and I'll keep you guys in the loop for all the major matchups that we will see throughout the season. Hopefully you guys have some interest in this franchise at all. I think I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit. Whether this gets viewership or not, I think I'm going to continue to put it up, whether it's stream format or video format, regardless. Hopefully you guys enjoyed or will enjoy. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this or any more of my content, and comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good one.